I guess we're going to do a reading right here because my charger only goes this far. I can't put it on my desk where it would normally go. It's literally at 1%. It just shut off. And it's also like 5 o'clock in the morning. It seems like since I've been working nights, I get off at 10:15. And I get home and I like do everything I'm supposed to do. And then I start working on the things I'm supposed to be working on. And like maybe I'll even like play games or, listen to an audiobook or do something fun. But then it's like 5, 6 a.m. And that's enough time for me to sleep and get a full night waking up right before I need to get back to work. And I feel like what I should do is flip it back so that it's the morning. But this is sunflower. This reading is about the twin flame. I'm getting this distinct energy that he has fully transitioned into a new identifier. Okay. So when I first started reading, I was looking for patterns and not much else, right? And how I would know that I was aligned with particular readers was because they would be pulling the King of Wands. And it would match up with what was going on with my King of Wands, who was not the twin flame. The original King of Wands, for me, was the false twin. And I wasn't reading my own cards yet. But then I had that reading where a reader saw another option sweeping in, somebody that was going to treat me right, and it was going to be so much more potent than before. And it was a candle to a bonfire, what I felt for my twin flame versus what I felt for the false twin. And he was supposed to be a King of Cups. And it was that whole dynamic of like, you were involved with this person over here so that they could push you into the arms of who you were truly meant to be with. And it was right around when I went into separation, that's when I started reading cards. It was like a month after separation began. But I started reading for my twin flame instead of the false twin. I started applying all of the information and everything I'd learned, everything I was learning and hearing to that situation instead of the previous one. And it was like a transference of energy occurred when we went into separation, because I'd chosen one over the other instead of choosing myself. Maybe that wasn't it. I'd chosen to get back at the King of Wands by asking another guy out in front of him. And when this whole energetic transference occurred, separation happened, and I started reading the twin flame as the King of Wands, and that's when he started treating me like the King of Wands, the false twin. And maybe some of that was my own interpretation of events. You know, when you're not talking to somebody, things can get skewed. But there's been a whole growth process here for the twin flame. That was his own. Not from a place of like looking down on him and saying you had so much work to do. We're not coming from that energy. But we had a journey, and he had a journey. And the energy is of transference, transformation from wands to cups. And he probably embodies all of them, you know? Pentacles, wands, swords, cups, emperor, and empress, and all of the queens, because like we discovered in this journey, you're both, and the goal is to fully embody all of it. Go on your hero's journey. But that's why I called it an identifier, because he's not just King of Wands or King of Cups or anything like that. But there are certain cards that Spirit will use to communicate that it's a certain person to me. And that doesn't mean it always is. Not every King of Wands is my King of Wands. Not every King of Cups is my King of Cups. Not every King of Swords is my King of Swords. But I'm being guided to identify him differently, and maybe that's the message. Spirit wants you to look at them, your twin flame, or divine counterpart, or whoever it is in your life that this could apply to, through a different lens, to use a different identifier, one that is actually them. Because he was always a water sign. But that's not what matters. Their actual sign doesn't matter. I think it's about his heart. And these kind of updates are a little dicey. Because I think part of me doesn't want to make anybody feel some type of way. Whether it's the twin flame, the false twin, King of Swords, anybody. Even though I don't know how any of them feel. Not really. Part of me avoids the possibility of making them feel some kind of way by talking about previous situations or the evolution of your twin flame or, you know, whatever it might be. Because you don't want to sandbag something good. You don't want to get somebody in their feelings and stop something from being a possibility. But from where we're standing right now, Spirit wants us to talk about this. Because we shouldn't diminish somebody else's growth or potential or pace in their journey or where they're at in order to spare the feelings of somebody that isn't communicating. And that's not a dig. It's a fact. And it's not an expectation of doing anything different either. 6%. I hope this is what you wanted me to say, Spirit. But we're not supposed to hold back our messages because of what could happen.